Hello, thank you for being here today. We're at Tarisio in New York. The first question I have for you is if you were to introduce classical music to a non-musician, which piece would you have them listen to?
There's no one piece. I'm really sorry, but there just isn't one. There are several, and it depends what age I am or was. Because when I was 16, it would have been Brahms' Fourth Symphony, and soon after that it would have been Tristan and Isolde, and soon after that it might have been Beethoven symphonies. And now, last month I was playing Brandenburg concertos, and I was thinking, well, yes, Brandenburg 6 is the most uplifting, happy, wonderful music in existence, and so that would be the one. But then since then, I listened to a performance of the Eroica Symphony with John Eliot Gardiner, and it's completely changed my life. So that would change their lives. It's the most wonderful performance. And then I think that a great piece of music needs a great performance. But I would say to them, go listen to that performance, because it is so alive and vigorous and energetic and perfect ensemble. And it's a performance of the Eroica Symphony to die for. So right now it's the Eroica Symphony. Well, that's a difficult question. Because the obvious answer, which probably everybody will give you, is to provide inspiration and to be creative, to be original, to be life-affirming. But I'm not sure, when I think about this, I'm not sure that I have a societal role. Because the other thing about being an artist is really just to simply do your own thing and not be dependent on the reactions of others. Because that might somehow corrupt what you do as an artist. So, the obvious question for me is, would I actually be an artist if I were living on a desert island? Would I keep playing the cello if there was no one to listen to it? And I think the answer is yes, because it's the thing that I love doing more than anything else. But I suppose also just being yourself and always learning is the very important thing to be an artist. But as far as a societal role, I think the only thing that one can come up with is to inspire, to amuse, to entertain, and to be honest. Well, a young musician like yourself doesn't need much advice because you're doing rather well already. But again, there are obvious answers which you always hear. Things like be true to yourself, follow your own path. Those are things you hear a lot. Even some of the answers to the previous question, like being honest, being truthful in what you do. But I like the paradoxes of what we do, and so I advise people in that way. So, for instance, that playing music, being a young musician, is the most important thing in the world. It's a matter of life and death. It's so crucial that you do it and work hard and to be the best musician you possibly can. And so that's an enormous burden. But on the other hand, you have to be able to lighten up and realize that it doesn't matter and nobody cares, and that can be a liberating thing as well. And there are many paradoxes like that. But I probably don't have time to talk about any of the others.
It's okay.
I can go on?
Yeah.
All right. Well, for instance, yes, buying an instrument. We're talking about string players now. And people want an instrument that is very loud. But loud isn't enough. In fact, loud really isn't important. What's important is quality. And I would always advise people to work for quality. And I'm not just talking about in buying an instrument now, I'm talking about all the work they do. I mean, being heard as an object is really not that interesting as an end. What's much more interesting is what you have to say. And sometimes if you say it softly, it can be much more engaging.